The Devil is a Part-Timer is a show that came out in 2013. You probably know it if you watch anime. You've probably at least heard of it. It is a very popular series and was during the time. However, over the years, views have changed on the series as a whole because it didn't age particularly well. I hate saying that, but it's true. It did not age in the finest way it could have. There are series that came out before it that did a the comedy action parody esque show better, and I think that when I see a series nowadays, the director, I think, who's the director? Do they have this right? I look at the director, I see who it is, and I think, is this series going to be good? Right? With the kind of shows that have came out recently, like Love Is War and Spy Family, two shows that are directed incredibly well. I don't expect a series like The Devil is a Part-Timer to be able to reach these heights or even get close, which, to be fair, I am putting it up against two really good shows, but I mean, these shows came out last season. Now we're getting a comedy parody esque show that was really liked back in 2013. Well, it didn't age well, and the second season is going to be much worse. I think this series doesn't really make much sense to even get a sequel. Obviously, promotional work for the light novel. The light novel ended 2 years ago, so it's a little weird. Maybe they realize the popularity in the West, and it's still getting translated, and maybe when more, maybe there's new volumes coming out to the West still, and they expect the series to be popular over here, which is fine. But unfortunately for them, the show's gonna tank. The director on it is not someone I would say is very known. I don't know if he's done. I looked at what he's done, and I can't say he's done anything that I would call impressive. Maybe he's a young guy. Maybe he hasn't done much in general. I mean, he's one member favorite on Mal. He's been around. He's been on episodes of things, but he hasn't done anything. So maybe he'll pull it out of his ass, but I really don't expect it. When we look at The Devil is a Part-Timer, it came out in 2013 and had a Mal rating of 8.03 as of a few years ago. I couldn't tell you the exact year, but I remember when I watched it, it had an 8.03. And after watching it, I was like, this is an 8? Now, generally on Mal, when something's an 8, you can say for the average anime fan, this is a good show, if not really good show. Not the, goblins or gremlins that leave, the one review on the 8.4 show giving their full review on it, not realizing that they're watching anime, a specific medium that, if you are expecting, you should be comparing it to other anime, especially if you're on a site like Mal. You can compare it to other series, but The Devil's a Part-Timer was never an 8. Unfortunately, it's a 7, maybe even a 6. The source material is not very great. When I see a light novel and it doesn't have like a 9, that usually means the light novel is not very good. Light novels are very, I would say the scores on Mel are juiced. They're higher than they should be. Same thing with manga. But when a light novel is a 7.68, that light novel is probably like a 4 or 3 realistically. It's not very good, and that's what The Devil's a Part-Timer light novel is. People complain about like the author not doing what he set out to do, maybe, but I don't have to talk about that because guess what? Season 1 wasn't very good. I think I gave it like a 6 or a 7. That's an accurate rating. The second season is coming out, and I fear for the people that are expecting great things or even good things. I don't expect it to be there. I do not expect a good series to be coming out to be comparable to things that you watch today that are highly rated. An 8.03 today is much harder to come by. Now, I say that right now, Spy Family is in the 9s when it has no business being there. As great as it is directed, as funny as it is, it's not better than Love is War. And that's what I'm going to compare it to, because they're both coming out at the same time and they're similar shows in ways. You're probably wondering, well, how are they similar? Well, they both are essentially rom-com parodies of things. They're not specifically parodies, but they're parody-esque in ways, right? Spy Family is clearly a parody type spy show that revolves around slice of life, some action. They're just similar shows in themes and regards to what they try to what they're trying to make you feel when it comes to action and comedy, and the parody elements. Now, Love is War is clearly better by I wouldn't say a lot. No, I'd say a lot. Yeah, I'd say a lot. It's a lot better. But Spy Family is good in its own regard. But these two shows are just miles above anything that The Devil's a Part-Timer is going to produce for you. Like, once again, the show will try and make you feel the same thing: action, comedy, parody type elements. They are similar in those regards, and you're not going to feel the same watching shows like this and then going to watch that. It's just, when I look back and I think about it, I think like, well, 2013, maybe it was ahead of its time when it comes to parody shows and elements, but Nichijou came out in 2011. Now, I get it. Nichijou is really ahead of its time when it comes to directing, when it comes to how it implements its humor. It does a very good job at making the viewer feel interested, even when the things that are going on are sometimes mundane. It's done to build up a joke, and it does it very well. And the directing on that, which is the major focus that I'm trying to pinpoint on, is incredible. The directing of Devil's a Part-Timer wasn't great back then. I feel bad for the series because the source material isn't that good, so I can't fully blame the director, but the director is even worse for this sequel. That guy, maybe he hasn't been around a lot to learn. Maybe not all his fault, but when we're reviewing a show, it doesn't really matter. I'm not expecting good or great things. This is the most I guess anticipated series of next season when it comes to Mal, at least, but I assume other series are similar. I mean, it's beating Rent-A-Girlfriend second season by a whole 30,000 people that have it on their list. That's crazy. I mean, sure, Rent-A-Girlfriend fucking sucks, but those are your two most popular shows. Made in Abyss, Classroom of the Elite, Call of the Night are coming out next season. All shows that I expect will be better than both of these series, and they're quite a ways down, right? I say Classroom of the Elite. I don't think it's like an incredible series, but when we see like the light novel, like I said, the light novel is like an 8.9, which means it's probably like actually like a 7.5 or an 8. The first season of it was fun to watch, but I don't know if the second season will be good. But the video is not about that. The video is about the disappointment you will feel if you go into the second season expecting a lot. Go back, watch the first season, realize that it did not age very well. The humor doesn't hit. Even shows like Konosuba, the characters were even more likable. So that's why a Konosuba season will work no matter what year it is, because the director is great and the characters are all really likable. Where it's just not going to happen with The Devil's a Part-Timer. That's it for this video. The next video I'll be making is probably going to be a longer Love is War one, because the big hour episode is going to come out. And I think this series is a very big one, a very, very good one. I think this third season is going to be deserving to be in the nines, the top anime of Mao. It probably deserves to be in the nines. Really, it probably does. I think it's that great of a series. I think it shows direction on a whole nother level that anime should follow. Will they? Probably not. I imagine it's hard to do. It's not an easy task to make a series like Love is War. You have to be incredibly good as a director. You have to get incredible animators. And with everything that's wrong with the anime industry, it's gonna be a once in a, it's a once and forever type of show. It's really that good. Whether you like the whole school setting or whatever, or you're like, oh, it's just a rom com, sure. But I think as a show, uh, and the source material being as good as it is, I think as a show it does an incredible job at directing, sound design, basically anything you could give to the director. It's doing great. So show's really good, and that's when we'll get an episode of that. Or once the episode comes out, I'll probably script the video, and then the video will come out. Sorry, the cat's assassinating me. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.